Let's do some cleaning while I tell you a little bit about myself. So before COVID, in the 20-somethings, I used to deliver tires for a living. I had a great contract. I was an owner-operator, and it was a good paying contract. So much that I saved up enough money to buy a house. So I bought a house and rented it out, but that's a story for another day. And because I used to do cross-border deliveries, when COVID hit, I had no choice but to park my truck. And this obviously meant no income. However, some months later, the government started giving out money to small business owners that were affected by COVID, up to 60K. So I handed in my information, all the required documents within the required time frame. So while I'm waiting to hear back from them, I'm out here calculating. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I can pay off this truck and I can start afresh. Maybe this is a new beginning. They denied my application. So with my pressure getting worse, I sent an email and asked them why they denied my application. And their reason was because my business didn't fall under tourism or hospitality, like restaurants and such. And they said this funding was only for businesses that were directly affected by COVID. So I write back to them and say I was directly affected by COVID because my literal income is me crossing the border. That's how I make my money. But because the borders are closed because of COVID, there's no way for me to cross the border and go continue doing my job. I honestly felt so let down by my government because I was hearing from other people saying that other businesses got funding and they did not deserve it at all. And they love to say, oh, I understand, but unfortunately, every time, oh, I understand, but unfortunately, oh. But anyways, I digress. Years later, I decided to take a big risk and open a store in the mall. My one-way ticket to financial freedom. Little did I know. It was actually an eye-opening experience. A teachable moment, some would say. Like, listen, running a business is one thing. Running a retail store in the mall is a whole different beast. Because if the traffic is dead and there's no income, you still have to pay the rent. And I was not prepared. The hours literally at 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. For those of you thinking, well, why didn't you hire help? I did. But imagine having a store open for those long hours and having somebody work. All the money is just going to wages. So as a business owner, you really have to be strategic. So I had to be the one in the forefront. I had to put in the hours and all those hours. Yes, I would need relief here and there. But because the time that my son closes school and the time that my employees are able to start work, they were students too. So they're kind of finishing around the same time. And other times I'd have to close the doors and go pick my son up, bring him back to the store with me so he can wait for me until it's closing time. Man, it was crazy. This made scheduling so difficult. And between being a full-time single mom and also taking care of my business and having to worry about the bills that are facing me, I was not prepared for the low traffic that the mall had. And because when I was doing my research, I realized that London didn't have the type of fashion that I sell. So it was going to be a good niche for sure. Because London is very modest. It's sweatpants, jeans, and not so much going on with the extravagant fashion. You know what I mean? So there was a niche for it, but the cost was just so high. Me thinking that opening a store would be my lottery ticket, it was actually an eye-opening experience. A teachable moment, some would say. So while running my business, I started looking into other avenues of making money. And to all my single moms out there, I'm talking to you. I know once upon a time you've thought of becoming a stripper because times were so hard. So what did I do? I bought myself some stripper shoes off of Amazon. I sell lingerie anyways. And I'm out here telling myself, if Cardi B did it, I can do it too. So guess what I did next? Go to part 2.